again.
Yeah. Okay, good. We got an opinion all the way from Hawaii. I think that's great. How about the Netherlands? Can we hear from your opinion, on this subject matter?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, of course, we also want to start over, especially that
No,
we were not here from the beginning.
that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I
Good,
would
good.
also say it would be wonderful to start over because we didn't do the initial chapters. But I do want to ask, is there any other alternative, anything else that we can do potentially?
Well, we can consider any other books that are written by Prabhupada. The Bhagavatam is a real colossal endeavor. And we would be at it till the day we die. I mean, there's the four books that Prabhupada so much praised are The Nectar of Devotion, of course, Teachings of the Lord Chaitanya or Chaitanya Charitamrita, either of those two, that is of those two books on Chaitanya, the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. He said those are the four. If you get them down really well, and I just I just like to, like in the introduction, Srila Prabhupada talks about if there's going to be one mantra, let it be the Maha Mantra. If there's going to be one God, let it be Krishna. One of this, one of that. So just simplify. And I feel the same way. The basis of everything we believe in is in the Gita. And, even though I've gone through it a few times in different ways of studying, I still learn more and more. It's that kind of, mystery masterpiece. And there's always something you get out of it, which you missed out on earlier on, or which just needs to be reiterated, recapitulated, I guess is the term. And that's why I just I think it's a beautiful book. I mean, it gives so much stability to people's lives. There's not, and that's where most people are coming from. They come to us to get their lives balanced, and the Bhagavad Gita is the best balanced book. The Leelas of the Lord, Chapter 10, all the other avatars. I mean, Canto 10 and other cantos. They're additional information, but I think that's maybe a little bit for people to take on their own. Since we get together once a week, the Bhagavad Gita's study has been very rewarding, and it did take us a little time. Vaishnavi was there from the beginning. She's the founder, Acharya, of this. At least for our group, other people have done it.
You
And,
started this, Maharaj.
it was a joint effort. What year? We started during COVID, right? During that wretched
Yes.
time. Was it 2021? Was
Yes.
that? Yeah, 2021. So we're almost 2025. It would be shy of 4 years. And we're not quite done yet either. But by the time we're finished, it would be 4 years of, just browsing, study. I just want to find out from you, Bruce. Do you find it taxing? I mean, we don't do exams or anything like that. No one of our group has ever shown that they're like shaky. Oh my God. It's a little bit, let's say, lenient in its delivery. And like I said, there's always something new to learn from it each time you go through it. And it's the basis of our teachings. Mahaprabhu, he loved the Gita and the Bhagavatam. These are the two texts that he would use to defend Vaishnavism, should it come up, or to defend the Vaishnava way of life. It's the ultimate support. What does it mean? The song of God. Well, I don't know. How can you not put it there, put it on the mantelpiece of your mind? I just think it's going to be okay. Does anybody have any great objections? I don't mind if you, oh, shucks, I wanted to learn this other text, Is anybody like that, of that mindset in this group here? Well, one good things that have come about on this is a very steady group. I have a Tuesday group. They're also pretty great, wonderful. And then Wednesdays, the South African devotees. That's been a little bit of a smaller team, but they seem to be very, very bonded together. And we've created a little bit of a family, a Gita family, if you will, by going through this process. Anyways, I'm willing to stay on. And I'm also willing to say this, that maybe it's a good idea if we do a little bit more promotion. If each one of you can find, a person that would really benefit from this, then maybe that would be a good way to go. And it doesn't have to be a big public promotion. I don't know if I could handle, 108 squares, but I think the intimacy, it works well. Okay. So if anybody wants to, you can raise your doubts about this proposal, or you can tell us what is the alternative. Just let us know. Now's the time to speak up. All right. Put a smile on Santa Claus and just Jagannath. Good. Any other opinions? We'd like to hear from you now. Now's a good time. Yeah, so for those that came on a little later, after we complete this study of the Gita, so we just go back to page 1 of verse, go to 1:1. I mean, I always like to hear Dhritarashtra give his input, and then Sanjay and Duryodhana. I never tire of these characters, nor what to speak of Krishna's words. Okay,
Yes, but
now, everyone's
yeah,
pretty silent. Okay, I was going to sing Silent Night, Holy Night, all is calm, all is bright. Round young virgin, the crickets don't even cry. Go ahead, Anantashish. Go ahead.
yeah, we went through that initial chapters pretty fast, and yeah, I wouldn't mind going through that. And when we finish, go back and start over, just the way that we're doing right now. I know we raced through the first few chapters quite, I don't think we went verse by verse on the first few chapters.
Right, right. Well, I mean, I like the speed at which we're going. Once in a while, we just, bundle up, bunch up 2 or 3 together, just because the theme is congruent. But mostly we're happy landing on one shloka with one purport, and by the time you hear from everybody, it seems to be okay. The hour's over. The hour's over. Good. Well, yeah. So that's it. We're just getting a bit. I mean, it's all at this point. It's unanimous, so far. But we'll give you another few seconds. If anybody wants to come up with something different, I'm happy to accommodate. But for now, I'm telling you what I'm liking. All right. Going once, going twice. Sold to going through the Bhagavad Gita again. All right, good, good, good. So thank you very much, Prabhus. I hope you're having nice holidays. I don't know what's like in other countries. I have a good idea what people do in America. I feel very sorry for people who live in Florida and they don't have a snow or a snowman. I just hard to relate to, honestly. But in the northern climates, I can appreciate what's happening in that regard. Yeah. So let us move along then, okay? We're still in chapter 18. We haven't completed yet. Let's go through our pranam mantras to Prabhupada and so on. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Pranamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
We'll go to page 1 of our introduction. Okay. Om Jnanatamrandasya
Om Agyanatimirandasya
Yantinandasya,
Jnananjana Shalakaya
Jananjananjana
Gyananjana
Slakaya,
Chakshuran Militan Yena
Chakshura
Chakshuram Militam Yena,
Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Tasmai Shri
Tasmai Shri
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha.
Namaha.
I was born in the darkest ignorance,
I
I
was
was
born in
born
the
in the
darkness
darkest
ignorance,
ignorance,
and my spiritual master opened my eyes
and
and
my
my
spiritual
spiritual master
master
opened
opened
my
my
eyes
with
eyes
the torch of knowledge.
with
with
the
the
torch of
torture of
knowledge.
knowledge.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
I offer my
I offer
respectful
my respectful
obeisances unto him.
is
obeisances
unto
unto him.
him.
Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Hare Krishna. Vaishnavi, our host, you will tell us where we left off from last week.
1855, Maharaj.
Oh, we're getting into juice. I mean, we've been in juice, but it's getting thicker and thicker. Creme de la creme. Here's a good one. It really is good. 55. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Yavan yash ashvi. Tatvataha. Tato mang tatvato gyatva. Vishati tat anandaram. Translation. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Haribol. Purport, we got a lot of stuff here. I think we can afford to have about 8 people go through this. All right. So let's cue everyone up, please.
Okay, we'll start with Dhanraj, Naman and family, and Ritam Goswami, and then Guru Das. Asha, can you read? And Pavitra, Sandamani, Manasi Ganga.
The last.
Okay. Beautiful.
Can I begin?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna and his plenary portions cannot be understood by mental speculation, nor by the non-devotees. If anyone wants to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has to take to pure devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee. Otherwise, the truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead will always be hidden. As already stated in the Bhagavad Gita 7:25, Nama Prakasa Sarvasya. He is not revealed to everyone. No one can understand God simply by erudite scholarship or mental speculation. Only one who's actually engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service can understand what Krishna is. University degrees are not helpful.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next person.
One who is fully conversant with the Krishna science becomes eligible to enter into spiritual kingdom, the abode of Krishna. Becoming Brahman does not mean that one loses his identity. Devotional service is there, and as long as devotional service exists, there must be God, the devotee, and the process of devotional service. Such knowledge is never vanquished, even after liberation. Liberation involves getting free from the concept of material life. In spiritual life, the same distinction is there, the same individuality is there, but in pure Krishna consciousness.
Thank you so much. Next.
One should not mistakenly think that the word Vishate enters into me supports the monist theory that one becomes homogeneous with the impersonal Brahman. No, Vishate means that one can enter into the abode of the Supreme Lord in one's individuality to engage in his association and render service unto him. For instance, a green bird enters a green tree, not to become one with the tree, but to enjoy the fruits of the tree. Impersonalists generally give the example of a river flowing into the ocean and merging. This may be a source of happiness for the impersonalist, but the personalist keeps his personal individuality like an aquatic in the ocean.
Thank
We
you so much. Next person.
We find
Okay, go ahead.
we find so many living entities within the ocean if we go deep. Surface acquaintance with the ocean is not sufficient. One must have complete knowledge of the aquatics living in the ocean depths. Because of his pure devotional service, a devotee can understand the transcendental qualities and the opulences of the Supreme Lord in truth.
Thank you.
As is stated in the 11th chapter, only by devotional service can one understand. The same is confirmed here. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotional service and enter into his kingdom. After attainment of the Brahmabhuta stage of freedom from material conceptions, devotional service begins by one's hearing about the Lord. When one hears about the Supreme Lord, automatically the Brahmabhuta stage develops, and material contamination, greediness, and lust for sense enjoyment disappears.
Thank you.
Avitra?
As lust and desires disappear from the heart of a devotee, he becomes more attached to the service of the Lord, and by such attachment, he becomes free from material contamination. In that state of life, he can understand the Supreme Lord. This is the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam also. After liberation, the process of bhakti or transcendental service continues. The Vedanta
Thank
Sutra.
you.
Hare Krishna. The Vedanta Sutra 4.1.12 confirms this. Aprayanat tatrapi hi drishtam. This means that after liberation, the process of devotional service continues. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, real devotional liberation is defined as the reinstatement of the living entity in his own identity, his own constitutional position. The constitutional position is already explained. Every living entity is a part and parcel, fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his constitutional position is to serve. After liberation, this service is never stopped. Actual liberation is getting free from the misconceptions of life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And the next person, could you please read the verse once again?
Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha tato ma tattvato jnatva vishate tad anantaram.
Okay. The English we're looking for.
One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. When one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God.
Thank you very much. Did we miss somebody who was on the list?
Ashaji?
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. She probably was busy.
Okay. We'll see if we can find a place for you. All
you.
right. Yeah, I mentioned in the beginning that this verse is quite critical because people will come along and say, as they did to Mahaprabhu at Benares, well, you have to study Vedanta. That was the argument from the many sannyasis of Prakashananda Saraswati. He had quite a following. He must have been very, very charismatic. And to have such an incredible following of sannyasis, single men, monks, who were interested in just giving their all to spirituality. The proposal they made to him was, you got to study Vedanta. You study Vedanta, and this is going to get you somewhere to attain an incredible spiritual status. They looked at Mahaprabhu and they said he was very attractive to people. He had stature, like even physically, he was attractive. Big lotus eyes and a strong frame, tall, and so on, and looking really good. With a shaven head and everything. And then obviously there was kind of aura coming, or let's say some shine, glow, as we often see from saintly persons. They made that proposal, and their criticism was that he is not doing enough study, and he's engaged in this, a lower level of bhakti, which is to chant, dance, all that kind of stuff. Little do they know that Mahaprabhu had already been quite a student and a teacher. And he had many students when he was very young. Some people saw him as a child prodigy from birth. He just was so enlightened, And but Mahaprabhu, in response to their remarks or about their opinions, this is for sentimentalists, all this chant, he just took a very humble position. And now he was sitting at the area where all the shoes are gathered, because that's part of the Asian traditions, whether it's Indian or Chinese, you leave your shoes outside the door before you step in. And I guess one of the reasons, especially in India, why you might want to do that is for practical reasons. Sitting down on the ground, it cools you down a bit, especially if you have a shelter above you. And for keeping the place clean, naturally keep your shoes outside. But he sat in the area kind of like in the middle, in the portal, or at the, what would you call it, the threshold. And he was happy to just sit there and meditate, think of the Lord, think of Krishna. So the others found it very odd, all these sannyasis, but they came and they looked at him and said, "Here's such a beaming person. Let's try to know him a little bit more." So basically, Mahaprabhu was meeting with a group of sannyasis who had an impersonal slant to the philosophy, and it can be argued that the soul, Brahman, will merge, like the individual Atma will merge into Brahman once you have reached like a Brahmabhuta stage. For instance, Brahmabhuta Prasanatma. It's one of the verses. Oh yeah, you're supposed to learn that one. You're supposed to memorize that. I just remembered here. All right, so we'll hear from those who've got it down. So their argument is that we merge, into the greater substance. But Prabhupada uses these examples. A green bird enters a green tree. It came from Bhaktimarga Thakur. But the green bird retains its individuality, even though it appears to merge. And it would be hard to find, in the summertime, we have these tree crickets, and they make these hissing sounds, and something like a cricket. And Gacetas, I think this one of their kind of bug that makes that sound. Hissing sound like that indicates that it's really hot out there and humid. So So whether it's like a tree cricket or if it's a green parrot that you find in Vrindavan, they are not merged. They retain their individuality, but they kind of hide. If the soul, let's say, chooses to reach Brahman, which is what my bodies are interested in, you still retain your individuality. It's not that it's totally lost. Another example that Prabhupada gives, he talks about a piece of aircraft. Aircraft moves into the sky and it merges with the sky. Yes, from our point of view, it does. It gets so small, smaller and smallest. It's a little bit like when Akura took Krishna and Balaram away from Vrindavan. The gopis are there, you know the pastime. There, some of them are in the front holding the horses down. Some of them are like holding on to the back of the chariot. So they touch the horses, they touch the chariot. They just don't want to see Krishna and Balaram leave Vrindavan. Now, the description that's given in the 10th canto is that this eventually they do go, that as the chariot moves on, and the gopis cannot hold the conveyance back anymore. Now, after a while, the dust is stirred up, because you know Vrindavan's a dusty place. The wheels of the chariot stir up all the dust. And eventually all you see is dust. You don't see a chariot anymore. You don't see Krishna and Balaram. You don't see Akura. You don't see anybody there. And it just ends up becoming so small. It appears to merge, but it's just apparently still individual and whole. Just from the point of view of a particular viewer, the optics are such that it appears that there's a vanishing dynamic, but it doesn't vanish. The soul doesn't vanish, keeps intact. It just appears to merge. Yeah. And I just learned it's Christmas time, so Christmas is December the 25th, and everyone makes a big hoopla about it, you know. Everyone goes shopping like crazy. But apparently it's the first day of a 12-day celebration. Perhaps you heard that song, on the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Da, 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 da. Do you know that one? Or am I just throwing? On the second day of Krishna, we have a devotee there in Florida. He's got his own version. His name is Yama Niyama Das Brahmachari. And it is so funny what he says in there. Okay, so, you know, Christmas may vanish, you know, the first day, because as you go on, it just gets better and better and better. It's like an Indian festival or like a marriage in India. It's several days, it's a week long, and all kind of merges together. But nevertheless, if you dredge your memory, talk about the first day of Christmas, second day of Christmas, or its weddings. Oh yeah, you get onto the details. The details are important. And it is through devotion that one can understand Krishna through and through. It's an attitude, you see. It's not so much a procedure. It's a mindfulness, is what it is. And that's what Krishna is interested in. Not the study of the Vedanta, not necessarily doing pranayam for 12 hours a day or asanas, or even giving a charity, giving to the poor. This is good, but it's still not coming from 100%. You're going to the source, in other words. So it is a good shloka, and Krishna's making it very clear. It's not by tapasya, it's not by jnanam, it's not by karma. It's the only thing that he seems to hit home on is it's through devotion that he has understood. Acts of love, act of selflessness. Yeah, that's a good verse to learn. Okay, any comments thus far, Prabhus? Okay. I think it's not the first time we heard how Krishna likes devotion. He gets won over by it. Nectar of Devotion tells us to. It's just one of the things that, in a sense, weakens him, but which is really a kind of a strength. When you're spiritually, when you're weakened in the realm of yoga maya, that actually is the strength. It's a strength. Okay, so can I hear from anybody who's ready to recite Brahmabhuta Prasanatma? Is anybody who's got it memorized? Or are some of you hiding? I don't mind if you learn the Sanskrit or the English. You can do it in Swahili. I really don't care if you want that. It really doesn't matter. But anybody prepared to recite it without looking?
Maharaj.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
So Damini, you've got it.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nasochati Nakankshati Samas Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param.
Very good. And you didn't cheat, right? You're not the cheating kind. Thank you very much. Anybody else would like to recite the Sanskrit without looking?
Can I go?
A Vaishnavi.
Brahmabhuta Prasanna.
One second, okay. I was just wondering if you could get me some water, like from downstairs. A bottle of water. Bottle? Yeah, like they have downstairs. Yeah. I'm very dehydrated here. Okay, yes, go ahead, Vaishnavi.
Brahmabhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samaha sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktam labate.
Very good, excellent, excellent, bravo. Anybody else prepared to take up the assignment here?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I try to learn it. Brahmbhuta Paramatma na sochati na kankshati sarvabhushe brahmbhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param.
Okay, not bad. The third word is prasanatma. Brahmabhuta prasanatma. Okay, bravo. We really appreciate your effort there. Good. Anybody else will recite it then, please? Okay, has anybody taken the chance to go over the translation to give it to us in English?
Brahmabhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param.
Okay, great. That was in Sanskrit. You did it. Bravo. Very nice. Very nice. Anybody else? Any of the les hommes, garçons, you know, any of the guys? Well, so how about in English then, okay? For getting off the hook. Anybody in English? Okay, let's do this because it's an important assignment. We'll give you 5 minutes, okay? You can get back to me and you got 5 minutes to study the, put it in your head. Give me the first 2 lines or the first or the 4. Or if you will just learn the English, either or. And so we'll do that now. So right now it's 5:30. Well, it's about 5:35. So at 5:40, we will let you unleash. Is that okay? All you have to do is cram it all in, and then we'll ask you to spew it all out. All right? And if you can't do the whole thing, at least do something. Okay, great. You've got till 5:40 our time, that is. Okay. Brahma-Buddha Prasanatma. I can see some of you in your faces that you're straining, you're really trying hard, to memorize this. Memorization is easy when you're young. When you get older, it's tough. Okay. We have 1.5 minutes left. Just a few seconds left. Okay, time is up. I'm such a hypocrite. I just said a few minutes ago that we're not giving any assignments. That gets everyone worried. And here we do it. What? Okay. So is there anybody who'd like to start? And not looking at their text and just delivering to us what you can remember, either the Sanskrit or the English, or both even. Who would like to start?
I'll give it a try, Maharaj.
Okay, great. I was thinking it was still silent night, holy night.
One who is transcendently situated in knowledge of the Supreme Brahman becomes fully joyful, and he doesn't desire anything, and he treats all living entities, is equally disposed to all living entities, and thus attains devotional service unto me. I probably didn't do it word for word, but I tried.
But that's okay. That's very good. I think, to you and to all your predecessors who ever said, we should give a big clap. Okay, great. So who else is ready to, let's say, surrender to Krishna?
You see the hands are up, Maharaj. You can call them by.
Well, let's get Naman. Let's see. I saw your hand. You're up at the top of the totem pole there. It seems so. Why don't we see what you have to say?
Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param.
Very good. Bravo. Bravo. Did you learn that now in 5 minutes?
No, Maharaj, I remembered this. And the translation is one who is transcendently situated at once attains the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He neither laments nor does he desire anything. He is equally disposed towards all living entities. In this state, he attains pure devotional service unto me.
Wow, what a Brahman. Yahoo.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Okay, great. So we have brilliance in this group here. All right, now let's see who are the other people with their hands up. Okay, yeah, so Ritam, go ahead.
I would like to do the Sanskrit, Maharaj. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samaha sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param.
Wow, nice. Excellent. Another Brahmin in the making. Haribol, wonderful. So, Pavitra, I think you're eager to take a shot at it.
Really eager, Maharaj, but I would try.
Give it a
I
shot.
tried the English translation. One who is thus transcendently situated realizes the Supreme Brahman and is fully joyful. He does not lament, nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards all living entities, and thus he attains devotional service unto me.
Excellent, bravo. Chai, I'm sure you can do that in Dutch too. All right, being where you are. All right, super wonderful. Dhanraj, I see you've got your lotus hand up there in the sky. Go ahead. Did you hear me?
Yes, Maharaj.
Good.
Brahma bhuteshu, Brahma bhuta prasannatma na soshati na kakshati samam sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param.
Very good. Bravo. Nice. Fantastic. It's amazing when you set your mind to it. We've got Manasi Ganga, and she's ready to
I do
Give it-
English translation.
Okay. Yeah,
One,
that's good.
one who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me.
Oh, wonderful. Nice. Okay. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. Okay. We're all doing pretty good. We're almost covering everyone now. Arjun Sukha, you already were there with us. Okay. Do we have Arjun, the regular Arjun? Are you with us or you're driving?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Yeah, I'm driving. I honestly forgot what kind of verse it was that I couldn't read it, but I'll learn it for next week.
You said you'll learn it later?
If it's possible, yeah. I mean, I kind of got the
Yeah,
sense
we'll
of
do
it,
it
but
next
yeah, I
week.
have to practice it.
We'll do it next week. Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay. Anybody else there on the list? Asha? Okay, well, you work at it, and then next week we'll Violetta, if she's also able to do so, and
Prabhuji, I
next week.
first to download all these material. I don't have access. I'm brand new. I'm just listening you to learn a little bit and about some.
Okay, okay. What you can do is then just take note of this important shloka, 1855, when you get a chance to wrap
Okay.
your head around it. Just read it, maybe memorize it. It can turn into a
Yeah.
beautiful
So I need
song.
to download the electronic version so I can read. So I
Okay.
don't have material yet. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Or if you have a hard copy of the Bhagavad Gita, it's just there, chapter 18, text 55.
Okay.
Okay, great. So that is Brahmabhuta. And the verse that follows is about devotion, what we've been discussing today, that the way to understand the Lord is through devotion. And pretty much everything is secondary. Chapter 12, which we went through already, indicates that there's a lot of things you can do as concession if you don't get it the first time around, which is to think of the Lord 100% in love. That if you can't do that, then the next thing is follow the rules and regulations of Bhakti Yoga. And then there's another concession. It keeps going down like that. But we should all end up, in the end, with all of our endeavors on a devotional platform. Love Krishna. That's really two words that sums it up. Love him. Okay, love him. Maybe serve him. Love him, serve him. Okay, now we had a lengthy purport here. We are just, let's say, curious to know, was there anything else that registered with you, devotees? Is there something here that you wanted to discuss? You know, like Prabhupada talks about he's like a badger and he stabs at the Mayavad philosophy, the impersonal philosophy. And one other clear argument is that you've got the vast ocean, but there are aquatics in the ocean. They live there, so they may appear to merge. I don't know if you've ever been there by the by a sea or an ocean or a vast lake. You see something sort of popping up popping up over the surface, and then it just vanishes. It seems to just merge, and you don't see it again. And so just let's keep in mind that whatever that aquatic was that's living in the water has its own, let's say, its own uniqueness, its own individuality, and is highly dependent on the water, being in the water. Once it's taken out of the water, it's problematic. It's very problematic. It needs to be by the H2O with sodium and all that other good stuff inside of it. So even if we reach a high stage of transcendence, and we don't have the bhakti just right, we will, let's say, be existing in some kind of suspended animation. And but we will retain our individuality because we haven't cultivated the notion of service so well. We are a little bit in a limbo, So ultimately, we want to serve. We have to cultivate that service attitude. And we do that through the devotees, through the gurus, through the sadhus. You show your love to Krishna through serving other souls. Even non-believers, they can also be served in a certain way. And that you have to get the ball rolling, Like now we've got lots of snow in Canada. Everybody on this call, we know what snow is. Canada's about snow for a few months in the year. So when we were kids, we start with a snowball, right? And you put it in the snow and you roll it, and it starts to become a boulder. It all sort of catches on. It's kind of magical, how it does. And then you end up making a snowman. You get the body part, then you get the chest part, and then you put the final one, a smaller ball-shaped form, becomes the head, and you stick a carrot in for a nose, and stones for the eyes, and tree branches. So you make your snowman, but the snowman doesn't just come like that overnight. It has to start from somewhere. It starts with a small snowball. Hare Krishna. So let us start our bhakti somewhere. Anybody on this call, you've actually started devotion for sure, because you're interested in Krishna's words. And that is the beginning. That should lead to a beautiful end. Good. Any other points you'd like to bring up from this beautiful lengthy purport and the verse itself? Well, I would just want to say the verse reminds me of what we find in Shastra. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Eva Kevalon, Kalo Nastiva 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 Tiranyata, which means it's through surrendering or submitting oneself to the holy name. And it says, Kalo Nasteva 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 Tiranyata. There's no other way to reach that target, that gati. No other Kalo Nasteva Nasteva Nasteva. No other way. If someone challenged it, well, there's got to be another way. No, there's no other way. Because it's through devotion, it's through sound in particular that will liberate us. That's another Vedic sutra, Vedanta Sutra. It's a text that tells you all the major bullet points, and the one that's really important near the end is that it's sound, Shabda Brahman, that's going to save you in the end. Okay, all Vedic conclusions lead to that, to sound, the pure sound of the holy name, mantra meditation. Good. Anybody else has anything they'd like to say? Then I think what we can do is just do takeaways here.
I would the penultimate verse in 11th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says almost the same thing there also.
Can you tell us what you're referring to again?
The verse is Bhaktya tu ananyaya shaktya ahamevam vidorjana. Let me pull that one up. Please.
Okay, this is good because that's the kind of thing we're looking for. You can share that with us, and then we'd like everyone else to think about a takeaway, something you've come up with, and that you like, that you heard, and you want to, as we said before, put it under your pillow overnight, and to then When you wake up in the morning, you remove the pillow and remind yourself of the message that's going to make a difference.
Okay. So it's on the screen.
Okay.
या त्वनन्यया शक्या अहमेवं विदोऽर्जुन ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परं तप.
Okay.
Only by
Go on.
undivided,
You can recite it then.
only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way you can enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So this is very similar to the verse we read today, which is
Yes.
as
Yes.
a personality of God, and only by devotional service. And
Yeah. Very good. I'm glad you caught that. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. Yes. It's the only way. If someone says there's got to be another way, we say no, there's only one way. It's through devotion, and in particular, through pure chanting. All right, so let's do the takeaways now. We'll go down the list. We'll ask Vaishnavi to, just announce your name and then tell us what you learned today. And shall we just keep it to 4 words? Because if we don't do it to 4 words, then people are going to do a whole recitation, like a TED talk or something like that.
yes, Arjuna, are you driving? I don't know if you can say anything. Arjun Saka? Maybe Asha? I'm just going alphabetically how I see in the
Okay.
Asha ji, if you have anything takeaway, please say now.
Okay, Arjun says, love Krishna with devotion. He got back to us.
Okay, what I understand is that only by true devotional service you can attain Krishna's mercy. That's all.
Yeah. Yes, that's fine. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Asha, for your contribution. Really appreciate that. We did get another message from Arjun. It is very noisy here. I don't know I don't recall saying the word noisy, but anyways. That's okay.
Guru Das, Alan.
Bhakti is the only way.
Bhakti is the
Manasi Ganga and
thank you.
Love Krishna, don't forget Krishna.
Okay, yes, love him, don't forget him. Bravo.
Maharaj, you maintain your individual identity.
Could you say that again?
You do maintain your individual identity.
Do maintain your identity. Okay, very good. Yes, yes. That's a real, like a promo for personalism. Good. What else do we have there?
Pavitra.
Love and serve Krishna.
Love and serve Krishna. Jai ho.
Sandam.
I'll bring to that.
Oh, yeah. Dhanraj, go.
Only way is bhakti.
Only
way is bhakti.
Oh, the only way is bhakti. Very good. Nice. Nice. Good, good.
Kandamini.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Oops, sorry. Constitutional position is to serve.
Constitutional position is to serve. Great. 5 words, but other people got to wait 5 weeks. That's okay. It's close enough. Appreciate the endeavor.
Violet or Naman? Learn Bhagavad Gita shlokas.
Oh, good. Yeah. Got to preach to each other. Next.
Can I say, not in English, Maharaj, can I say something?
Sure.
This is part of another mantra, Sevan Mukhe hi jihvado. Devotional service beginning with the tongue.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Nice. And that is so true. Next person.
Rhythm.
Devotional service is liberation.
Okay. Very good. Well thought out.
Yeah, Anand Sesha. Maybe he cannot say.
Okay. Have we covered everything?
I think so.
Mataji, you. What about you, Vaishnavi Mataji?
You can't get off the hook.
Krishna is a good teacher. He repeats the same thing several times in Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. And that's why we should go back to chapter 1. Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone. Bless you all. You did a great job.
Arjun
Okay,
Sakai
now.
raised his hand. Arjun Sakai, yes, go ahead.
Okay, good.
Okay. He probably did something.
Hare Krishna. My is like Krishna is the best bargainer in second chapter, second third chapter. He bargains a lot in sense like he says, "You do this, I'll give you this," and then he again say, "If you can't do that also, you can do this." Then again, if you can't this also, we'll do this. So he's
Okay,
the
but you
best
broke all the
bargainer
rules.
also.
You broke the rules. We just needed 4 words. 4 words. Okay. If you can you narrow it down to 4? Pray see it down.
For
We
that, I
lost.
have to think later.
Krishna, the best bargainer.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, beautiful. We've covered everyone now, right?
Yes, as far as I am concerned. Yeah.
Okay, what is next Thursday? What's that on our calendar?
The New Year, Maharaj, January 2nd. No, right? Correct, Mataji? January.
Yes, it is the 2nd of January.
Yeah.
Okay, 2nd of January. 2nd of January, I'm going to Guyana and Trinidad and one of those countries. So I might be flying in the air. I'm sorry, I will get back to Vaishnavi and she'll tell everybody else. Be prepared to come with your verses, those people who still need to have a little time on that. And if I can't, because I'm up in the air going to the Caribbean, then please just conduct yourselves. Would you like me to try to bring someone in who could help you on this? An outsider? Would you? I can do that if you like. Okay. Okay, I will certainly do that. Okay. And but in the event that my flight is late, I might be able to get some time to be with you for an hour. Okay. Be somewhere near the airport. Bruce, thank you so much. I do hope you have a good year, January 1st coming up. And if there's anything left of the 12 days of Christmas, please enjoy them too. And I don't agree with people say we shouldn't say Merry Christmas. I say you're nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
We should say Merry Christmas, Maharaj.
Yeah. Oh, pardon me?
I said, should we say Merry Krishnamas?
Yes, or Hare Krishnas.
Hare Krishnas.
That's okay. Our day is Gita Jayanti or Janmashtami. So people who follow other faiths, why don't we recognize them on the days, I just don't agree with, knocking Christianity out because it's done a lot of good things. And, why discriminate and just poke holes against one particular group and not others? I just don't think it's right. It's their day. They've got a monopoly. Every religious path has some day that they recognize as holy. So why don't we just stick to it? All right. So thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripasinubhyavata, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Vaishnavi Mataji.
Thank
Thank you all,
you.
Vaishnav.
Srinath wants to say Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Christmas and
Hari
happy
bol, Hari bol.
advance.
Hey, good to see you.
Great to see you. Yeah.
Wow, you're changing your form.
Yes, Maharaj.
It happens naturally. It happens.
He's
naturally.
grown so tall that I can't reach him to even hit him, Maharaj. Just
You
kidding.
can't hit him anymore. Oh well, well. You have to be careful now. But he'll be there to protect you in case
Yes.
someone mishandles you. He'll always be there for you.
Maharaj.
All right, take care. Hari bol.
Hari bol, Maharaj.
Hari bol, Hari bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody.